friend, welcome back to another episode of Fig and Farm at Home. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today on this Quick Tip Tuesday. Today, we're going to be talking about something that you guys like to talk about. It is a question I receive all the time in my DMs, in my inbox, in my questions coming into the Facebook group, at the supermarket. I receive this question a lot. So we're going to dive right in. Are you curious what it is? All right, enjoy today's show. It's Quick Tip Tuesday. You have questions, I have answers, and I am so glad to be answering them for you today. If you have a question that you want answered on the show, pop into my DMs on Instagram at Fig and Farm. Send me an email at figandfarmathome@gmail.com or join the Facebook group and ask there. bit.ly/design101 group. Let's hop to it. Let's answer your question. And if you find value in this, I'm sure someone else will too. So make sure you share with a friend. I hear about 3 things on repeat when it comes to decorating your home. And when someone asks what I do, there's always a really excited, oh my gosh, that's so much fun. And then leads into this. Here are the 3 things I hear all the time. That must be nice. I don't have any money. I need to, and this is me paraphrasing, of course, or I can never have good things, nice things, beautiful things because I have children, or it just feels so overwhelming. I have no idea where to start. Let's quickly talk about the other 2. I have children, so I can't have pretty things. Now, here's where I'm just going to call it like it is, and I'm going to call BS on that because you can have beautiful things. Absolutely. Should you have expensive things? Maybe not. Because we know that sometimes spills are going to happen, sickness is going to happen, accidents are going to happen. So should you spend $10,000 on a rug? Probably not the wisest decision. If you have children running around, right? If you have boundaries that allow for jumping on couch, bringing in mud, eating Cheetos and grape juice on a white couch. Yes, that is going to decrease the lifespan of the beautiful thing that you had. Creating a few boundaries around those, and not necessarily I've got the ruler and I'm stern face and I'm going to yell at the kids kind of boundaries. I'm just meaning, hey, let's bring our snack over here. Hey, you know what? Those shoes are a little bit dirty. Let's kick them off before we come into the home. Having a few boundaries is going to allow the longevity of the beautiful thing, but realistically speaking, knowing where to spend your money is really very critical. If you have kids, if you have pets, if you have a budget, even if you have a budget with none of the others attached, you can have beautiful things. So let's talk about that for a minute. One of the things I hear most often is, I can't do anything. I can't change my home. I can't make it beautiful. I can't make it really a place that I love coming home to because I don't have the money to put towards that. 2 of the biggest complaints I hear is I don't have time and I don't have money. Well, I know that we make time for the things that are important. And if your home is not important, then you will never have the time for that. If your home is important, you will create the time. But what happens often is we lump this idea of, I want to have it today. And so, spending one weekend to create this space is not only going to stretch the time allotment you have, those time boundaries you naturally have, it's also going to stretch your budget, the money. And that's not necessarily realistic. So setting our expectations to what really we can do is going to be helpful here. But here's the thing about budget. I don't know anyone who has a money tree growing in their backyard or an exorbitant amount of cash laying around that they can just spend willy-nilly on the latest trend in order to make their homes gorgeous. Just like anything, I know that sometimes we have to save a little bit in order to do the vacation, in order to pay the braces bill, in order to go out to that fancy restaurant that's new in town. That is reality for most of the things in our world, and so is that towards our home. The trick with budget is actually in the planning, knowing what changes need to be made first in order to make the biggest impact. And when you're in Home Design 101, you learn what that biggest change is. In fact, you learn my kind of secret sauce for which changes should be made in order to get the impact before we buy the big piece of furniture, if we even need to, before we buy the big sideboard, if we even need to, before we buy anything that we automatically think that we have to start with. It's actually not the thing that we need to start with. Biggest impact change in order to transform your home into a place that feels cozy, comfortable, cohesive, put together, whatever words you want to apply there, doesn't start with a purchase. It starts with a plan. This summer, I am doing an entire series on savings. It's called my Summer Savings Series, and we are taking the idea of budget and we are giving you tactical, practical, strategic tips in order to be really, really wise with your purchases, with the things that you choose to do. And it's all happening starting Friday. So if you are not subscribed to the show, I want you to make sure that you are, because we're going to start with things like how you can effectively shop secondhand, how you can effectively use and procure items on Facebook Marketplace, how you can grow your confidence in DIY skills, how you can apply specific budgeting tips in order to have a little bit of expendable cash to make the changes that you want. I am so excited about this series that's coming up for you. It has been a long time in the making. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised when you hear some of these ideas that you can apply starting this Saturday. Why this Saturday? Because I'm going to tell you all about some strategies on Friday. But let's go back to this idea of not knowing where to start. That is a completely different idea. Of course, I can tell you, well, let's make a plan. But how do you know what to put into your plan? How do you know? Friends, here's your homework assignment. Today is our last Quick Tip Tuesday for the next couple months. I'll be back in August, but I'm taking a little bit of a break in order to enjoy time with my kiddos this summer. But I know that you are just as busy as I am. And sometimes you're going to have a little bit of time when your kids are at the water park or at the park, or you're ferrying them to vacation or to camp or wherever, and you might want to listen to a couple things in order to get some inspiration. So here's your homework. When you are trying to figure out where to start, there might be certain things that are keeping you kind of stuck. So I have a list of podcast episodes I want you to go back and refer to that might hit the pain point that you are wanting to get beyond. If you're ready to get started this weekend, I want you to go back and listen to episode number 168. This is 10 quick ideas to get started this weekend. When you're just asking yourself, gosh, where do I start? I have no idea. I want you to go back and listen to episode number 99. And here's your cautionary tale. Don't purchase anything. And 5 more steps you can take when you're asking yourself that question. Where do I start in home design? But if you're stuck in indecision, if you are constantly overwhelmed, I want you to go back and listen to episode number 98. Being stuck in a decision kind of stinks, so we're going to have you start there. In episode 71, I talk about the idea that creating a home that you love actually doesn't start with the pretty things. It starts with something different. So I want you to go back and listen to 71. In episodes number 42 and 45, these are quick tips if you hate the way that your home looks and you feel like you want to redo it all, knowing which room you start with. When you want to just say, hey, where's the dynamite? Just give me the dynamite. I'm ready to just start from scratch. Go back and listen to episodes number 42 and number 45. And then in the very beginning of the show, very, very beginning, back in the wee archives, number 6, number 7, and number 8, I talk about understanding the purpose of your room, how to use Pinterest in order to really start diving into creating a home that you love. And we talk about budget and aligning expectations and reality with that budget. So many resources for you, friends, to dive back into this idea of where do you start when you feel just really overwhelmed or a little unsure. Here are some other ways that you can get started this summer, and you can get started for free. 3 ways you can take action this summer. Listen to the podcast. Read the blog. Yep, I have a blog. It's on figandfarmathome.com. And join the free Facebook group. If you go back into the very beginning of that Facebook group, there are so many actionable videos and resources for you in order to really dive in to creating the space that you love. As I'm taking a little bit of a break this summer from producing Quick Tip Tuesday episodes, I am going to be diving into the Facebook group a little bit more. So I will be present there and you can work with me inside of that. I'll be having Q&As, I'll be answering questions, and that's a free way for you to move the needle on getting started. But maybe you're ready for a little bit more. Maybe you're ready to say, you know what, this summer actually kids are in camp a lot. I'm going to have some extra time on my hands. The kids are older, so they're more independent. I'm going to want to get started. I want you to come into Home Design 101. Home Design 101 is packed full of resources for you in a step-by-step way for you to start creating that plan for you. We start with understanding the purpose of the room, because buying things without knowing what you need it for is real. We talk about creating a cohesive color palette, how you can create repetition and cohesiveness using the design elements that you gravitate to over and over again. We recognize and pinpoint your design style so that you're not second guessing which things to purchase or which things to keep any longer if they are already hanging out in your home. You learn how to create a visual mood board so that you know how the items work together if you do need to make a purchase, how they work together before you spend any money at all. You get that secret formula for knowing which things to do first, which things to buy first. Everyone is on their own scale, their own timeline. And this formula allows you to see where you fall into that timeline, what you need to spend your resources on when it's time to do that. You learn scale and size guidelines, how to choose the right size for the right space. You learn how to style it like a designer was just there, and so much more. We have monthly office hours, a private Facebook group where you can get questions answered, and we have lots of ways for you to get extra and additional support that only happens inside of Home Design 101. So if you're ready to take action, I will have the link inside of the show notes. And friends, in the meantime, between now and the beginning of August, if you have questions you want answered on the show, for when I come back for Quick Tip Tuesdays in August, I want you to send me a DM, send me an email. Shoot those questions my way so that I can be ready for you come August. In the meantime, I'll see you each and every Friday, especially during our summer savings series starting this Friday. So make sure you subscribe to the show. All right, friends, until next time, I'll see you soon. Hey, real quick before you go, if you learned something new or found value in today's podcast, would you head over to iTunes to Fig and Farm at Home and leave a review and subscribe to the show? That would be awesome. And if you'd like to connect with my community of mamas who are learning to be intentional storytellers within their own homes, join us at bit.ly/design101 group. There's always more room at the table. See you soon.